It is a pleasure to have you here today, mate. And Wood, we are not far away from the brand new album coming out. How are you guys feeling about this thing? It feels like it's been, well, it really has been over 2 years in the works now since Doomswitch came out.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't had time to properly digest it, to be honest. I don't think. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel a thing.
Yeah.
I don't feel a thing. We've gone through we've gone through a lot
Yeah.
to get to this point, and it feels like everything that we've been through has sort of desensitized us to yeah, like I feel relatively. I'm not sure if it's the thing where like I'm still it's still we're still catching up
Yeah.
on everything that's happened. Um, I think once the album's released, it'll be that's when it'll all hit us. I've just got a feeling that
Yeah.
it would. But right now, it's kind of the calm before the storm. I think it's this is the first time in about 2 years where I don't have to think about music because for two
Wow.
years we've either been touring or we've been writing. Like we just haven't stopped. So this is my time to relax and just not think about music for 2 minutes.
Well, you've only got about a fortnight to relax. I've got a feeling it's going to be like Christmas Eve as a kid. You're going to be like, oh, the album's out tomorrow and it's out midnight. What are people going to say? Because I've had the chance to
Yeah.
listen to the album as well, and I mean this, genuinely impressed. I can't believe you've released so many singles already, and I can already pick out at least another three tracks where I'm like, oh, surely they'd have to be singles as well. But then it almost turned like into a greatest hits album at the same time because there was just no filler on this album. Like, I am genuinely impressed. Like, well done. Like, how has the writing process been over this time? Was kind of everything set in stone back around the time Doomswitch came out, or have you kind of been chopping and changing this whole time?
Yeah, the songs have been the songs were being written throughout the whole process, right? At least up until we went to Portland and
Hmm.
recorded everything. So Doomswitch was the first song written, and it was written because we had to put out a song.
Yeah.
Like we had to do something. Alex had just joined the band. We had just taken all these tours. We needed something to tour off of, and we hadn't released music in like I don't know, I think it was like a year and a half at that point with an old
Yeah.
band member. Um, so yeah, Doom Switch sort of triggered a like a series of like it gave us faith
Hmm.
to because it was a self-produced song and it was the first song we'd self-produced in a number of years. It sort of gave us the faith and encouragement to do the rest of the album the same way.
Yeah.
And everything was kind of being written in between tours up until we bit the bullet and said, "Hey, let's just get this recorded so we
Yeah.
can put the record out." And we did that in Portland, in between like the Parkway Drive tour and there's another European tour we're doing at the time. I forget which one.
It's kind of amazing. I've looked at you because you've had a busy year. Good things last December, going on to the Bring Me the Horizon tour, the European tour, the Monsters of Oz tour you've done, and everything. I kind of look at it and go, where did you really find the time to do it? So it is quite impressive because it doesn't lack in quality. And Doomswitch kind of being, hey, we need to get a song out. Was that when you kind of finally put that together? You go, oh, this is what Make Them Suffer is evolving into. Let's just ride this roller coaster and see where it takes us. Because while it still feels like Make Them Suffer, you guys have progressed and evolved um, like quite well over the years to the point. I had someone say it and it made me laugh. And I said this to Sean back at Good Things. I said, I heard someone say you guys are an overnight success, and I got to say, you've been in the band since 2008. That's a pretty long night. Do you ever feel you kind of get that way because we are Australian and we kind of get tucked away for the longest time until you kind of get that breakthrough song in the American market? And people are like, oh, brand new band, who's this? And they don't realize you got four albums under your belt already.
Um, I mean, I'm going to be honest and say a lot of people in that territory live in their own separate live in their own separate bubbles.
Yeah,
Like they are discovering new bands all the time, and I think for someone over there, it's quite easy to feel or think that we're an overnight success because you're right. Like we're from Australia.
Yeah.
Uh, they don't get too much exposure
Mm.
to bands that come in from overseas, right? So it's very easy to assume that when a song gets big there, that it feels like that band's gotten big
Yeah.
overnight. But yeah, I mean, interestingly, I've heard this a lot. Like the band doesn't have any like we're in our own little bubble. Like we don't know how well we're doing in certain parts of the world,
Yeah.
what people think of us. Like, when people are telling us, yeah, you guys really shot up after Doomswitch. Um, we've been hearing that a lot, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I don't feel any different. Like, should I feel different? I've no idea. Just
Yeah.
have no idea. So I think we're always going to be like that.
Hey, look, at the end of the day, that's not the worst thing in the world. It kind of keeps you grounded. You're not sitting there going to the YouTube comments or looking on TikTok to be like, oh, is this tracking as well as the last one? So it probably keeps you more human at the end of the day. So well done to all of you doing that. And I'm going to jump back a little bit to the before Doomswitch came out. Alex joining the band. How much did that kind of make an impact to how this album kind of all, just kind of unraveled?
Yeah, I could go down so many different
Mm.
avenues with this, uh, but we have very, very little time. Like I could be here for 3 hours. Honestly, I could be here for
Yeah.
3 hours talking about that. Um, Look, it's everything,
Mm.
right? Like we were about to break up,
Oh, wow.
and Alex was our sort of beacon of hope. Um, like the band was like I'm telling you, like
That close.
this freaking close. We had a conversation one night, and um, and there was this, we'd reached this sort of deadlock. The band couldn't agree whether to move on as a four-piece or a five-piece and keep the girl, like keep what make them suffer, make them suffer. That's
Yeah.
that's at least the point of view I had, and no one could agree. No one could agree on how the band would move forward. And that night I was like, I guess that's it. Like that's 10 years worth of work gone down the drain. And I'm gonna have to find something else to do with my life. And the next day, I had bumped into Alex Reed, who I'd made friends with over, the previous like I don't know 6 months to a year. She was a friend that I'd made during COVID.
Yep.
Um, and we were already at that stage, like talking about how difficult things were in both our bands. And I bumped into her in the street, and that was kind of like my eureka moment. And so Alex had bought not just this sort of, she didn't just fill that pocket that we needed to, you know,
Yeah.
be a five-piece again, but it was like she was like the missing piece we never had. She joined the band. She immediately had everybody's DNA, um, and her contribution to the band was it might not have been creatively. She's sort of still finding her feet in that way, but she revitalized the band. She made everybody want to be in a band again.
Yeah.
And that's I think the most important feature about Alex Reed being in Make Them Suffer.
And she makes the live shows fantastic as well. I've been lucky to see you guys 3 times over the last 12 months, and you guys are just getting better and better as time goes on as well. And it's funny you mentioned nearly breaking up because I remember Parkway even said the same thing. I think a lot of people, and if you're not watching from Australia, during 2020, our lockdown was pretty light. It was 2021 we were kind of locked in. So we really experienced almost like 2 years of this thing. And it gets in your head. You start to question, what am I doing? How do we go forward? So it makes a lot of sense. And look, glad you bumped into her on the street that day because we've got this amazing new stuff coming out, amazing new album. And I've got to say, And I want to ask you a question. It's like picking your favorite child. Now, there's so many good ones on this album. What is your favorite that hasn't been released as a single yet?
Um, that's a tough one
Yeah.
because we, we wrote every song to kind of be performed live,
Mm,
and every song's got its own thing. I want to say Small Town Syndrome, just because there was sort of a debate between Small Town Syndrome and Man of God as to which one was going to be uh, released next.
yeah.
And I think we chose Man of God only because it was a song that didn't have like a singy chorus and kind of broke away
Yeah.
from our most recent formula a little bit. So that was the only reason we chose Man of God over Small Town. But I'm excited for people to hear Small Town Syndrome if I had to pick one.
Yeah, no, and that's the one I would have picked too. I was kind of hoping you're going to say that. And it's so good that you
Sick.
put it at the end of the album because it really is a roller coaster. And a lot of albums, especially back in the 2000s, all the singles were up front and then you had all the B-sides in the last five tracks. But when you come in, Ghost of Me is one of the last songs. Tether, I loved as well. But Small Town Syndrome, closing on that, like that would be an amazing live song as well. I do understand why Man of God, you got to get the heavy one out there to go, right, this is the one where you guys, wall of death time. So let's get into it. But I'm glad you said Small Town Syndrome. It's not just me. But I know I don't have you for a lot of time today, and it's been an absolute pleasure. I cannot wait for the world to experience this album. Is there anything, I know you're feeling a bit numb to it at the moment, but I'm sure that will kick in on November 7th, the day before. But is there anything you wanted to say to the fans out there who have really been waiting for this album since Doomswitch dropped in, what was it, October 2022 now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, oh, there's a lot. There's a
yeah,
lot I want to say. Um, yeah, this record is us in our final form.
mm,
It's raw and it's authentic. It's unapologetically us. Um, we found after 10 years of, I guess, trying to learn how to be a band,
yeah.
we finally found our final form. And, this is a song, I mean, this is an album that you have to come out and watch perform.
Mm.
All well and good if you listen to them from speakers, but come out and watch us perform it.
Yeah, and I can't wait. And hopefully, I get to hear some of these ones that haven't been. I'm a bit upset because the Roundhouse show was just before you released Managod. So next time, maybe next time, I'll hear Managod live. But Nick, thank you. It's been a pleasure, and once again, congratulations. Everyone's going to love this album. I just know it.
Thanks, Jai.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Appreciate it a lot.
No, thank you. Ta.
Take care.